In U.S. v. Ghislaine Maxwell case, jury asks if can use Annie for conspiracy, schedules 2D day and maybe 3D by Matthew Russell Lee Patron song video ruling BBC, Decrypt, Light Read, Radio, Podcast, SDNY Courthouse, December 21. Ghislaine Maxwell, charged with sex trafficking and other charges, is nearing the end of trial that started on November 29. After the November 23 final pre-trial conference, vlog here. On December 18 in a rare Saturday charging conference, Inner City Press learned a bit more about Maxwell's legal team. Laura Menninger came and left, presumably preparing her closing argument for December 20. On Sunday, December 19, with the draft charge still not in the docket, also Maureen Comey wrote in jointly with Maxwell and her legal team stating that with regard to the closing arguments, the public interest in viewing the parties' presentations is marginal. Inner City Press immediately filed opposition to Judge Nathan, calling this inaccurate and insulting, and asking for unsealing, and a public call-in line. Inner City Press litter here and here. On the morning of December 20, also Alison Moe gave the government's closing argument. Inner City Press live tweeted here, podcast here, 8:30 a.m. live stream here. Then, the defense rebuttal, live tweeted here, podcast here. On December 21, a full day of jury deliberations with requests for information, and for scheduling. Inner City Press live tweeted here, 9 a.m. live stream here, podcast here. Judge Nathan took to the bench at 10:10 a.m. and said, "I've gotten a note. The jury wants the transcripts of the testimony of Jane, Annie and Carolyn. It will be assembled and sent to them via the court security officer, who's been sworn in for this function." Courtroom is empty again. 3 long transcripts going back to jury. As of 11 a.m., current status in courtroom 318, empty, but sitting at defense table are Maxwell's official lawyer Bobby Sternheim and unofficial, undocketed lawyer or photo fixer Leah Safian. Update: FWE at 12:55 p.m., still no prosecutors at their table, now 2 or 3, counting Safian, Maxwell counsel at theirs. No more notes from jury. Update of 1:22 p.m., they have brought Ghislaine Maxwell out to the defense table. The other, listed counsel Scatter and Ghislaine is talking one-on-one with Leah Safian. No in-and-out or photo can be taken in the courtroom, but something is afoot. Just to tamp down expectation from this afootness, Maxwell has been taken back in the holding cell. The burst of action, sources neither prosecution or defense say, was to agree on redactions on the testimony to be given to the jury, sidebars out, etc. Update of 2:51 p.m., courtroom 318 is populating again. Word is, there is a jury note. Ghislaine Maxwell has been brought out again. Judge Nathan, I have a note. We would like the FBI deposition 3500-5005 referred to by the defense. Also, that is not in evidence. Maxwell's lawyer, there is impeachment of Carolyn in that document, although we acknowledge it is not in evidence. So we proposed not saying, it is not in evidence. Judge Nathan, how about, all admitted exhibits are before you. Also, fine. Maxwell's lawyer, why not say, you have the admitted evidence about 3500-5005. Just don't say it is not in evidence. Judge Nathan, they are asking for the document, I presume because they have the testimony about it. Pauses to write something out by hand. Judge Nathan, it is not an exhibit, the testimony about it, you have. I'll just send in a note for efficiency. I'll say, 3500-5005 is not an admitted exhibit but the testimony about it, you have. Agreed. All rise. Verdict watch continues. Watch this feed. Maxwell's lawyers wanted Judge Nathan to come back, and she has. Maxwell's lawyer wants a copy of the note. Judge Nathan, the foreperson has signed the note, so we have to redact it. So I will just read it to you again. Judge Nathan, counsel are aware of the identity of the jurors, so I'll just redact it as to the public. All rise. Okay, back to verdict watch. More opining. No verdict today at this rare. Inner City Press remains on the case. Now 4:06 p.m. Judge Nathan, I have received a note. The jurors say they want to end today at 5 p.m. Deliberate tomorrow from 9 to 4:30 and have lunch at noon, and if not decision by the end of December 22nd, Judge Nathan, it is possible for them to deliberate on Thursday. Maxwell's lawyer Sternheim, will you offer then Thursday? so they can make arrangement. Judge Nathan, we could tell them that, if memory serves, the defense did not want the deliberations to take place under the deadline of Christmas. Now, they seem to like it. Update of 4:30 p.m. Jury has another note. Question: can we consider Annie's testimony conspiracy to commit a crime in counts 1 and 3? Also, say yes. Maxwell's lawyer: if someone asks, can I drive, you could answer, yes, but within the speed limit. Judge Nathan: I'm going to answer, yes, you may. Please bend back at 4:55 so we can let the jurors go at 5 p.m. How large is Maxwell's legal and other team? Watch this site, and #MaximumMaxwell. On October 29 and again on November 12, Maxwell and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York filed a flurry of motions in limine, heavily redacted. The government argued that trial exhibits are not public and will be withheld. Inner City Press opposed and opposes the continued secrecy. And CDC op-ed here. On December 16, after a 3-day hiatus as Judge Nathan went to D.C. seeking 2D Circuit seat, Maxwell's defense began, with her executive assistant Cimmerly Espinoza. Inner City Press live tweeted here, 8:45 a.m. live stream here, podcast here. On the afternoon of December 17, the defense rested, and Ghislaine Maxwell said there was no reason for her to testify because, she said, the government had not proved its case beyond a reasonable doubt. After Eva Dubin, Inner City Press live tweeted here, podcast here, midday live stream here. On Saturday, December 18, Judge Nathan held the charging conference, at which references to the defendant were changed to a more ladylike Miss Maxwell and foreign travel, and the word minor were dropped and replaced. Inner City Press live tweeted here, and below, pre-conference live stream here, podcast here. On December 10, leading up to the U.S. resting of its case, Annie Farmer was cross-examined, then her ex-boyfriend and mother testified. Inner City Press live tweeted it here, podcast here, stand up, Mac's sister, and circus. Again, where is the press opposition to all this sealing, and the decision maker? Inner City Press is covering the trial, and all that comes before and after it, court case cast and Song I, Song 2, Song 3, 5th Song, November 27th Song, December 4th Song and December 11th Song, YouTube demonetized it, and December 18th Song, no ads. On October 18 the U.S. Attorney's Office opposed the request, saying that the voir dire questions should be asked by Judge Nathan, and that there should only be sidebars on sensitive questions such as those that relate to sexual abuse and media exposure. Full letter on Patreon here. In a conference on October 21 on that as scheduling issues, Judge Nathan denied the request to seal. Inner City Press live tweeted it here, podcast here. On October 22 the draft jury questionnaire was unsealed and Inner City Press has immediately published it on its document cloud here, including have you or a family member ever supported, lobbied, petitioned, protested, or worked in any other manner for or against any laws, regulations, or organizations relating to sex trafficking, sex crimes against minors, sex abuse or sexual harassment? Photo here. After the death of Jeffrey Epstein in the MCC prison, on July 2 acting U.S. Attorney for the SDNY Audrey Strauss announced and unsealed an indictment of Maxwell on charges including sex trafficking and perjury. Inner City Press went to her press conference at the U.S. Attorney's Office and asked, doesn't charging Maxwell with perjury undercut any ability to use testimony from her against other, bigger wrongdoers? Periscope here at 23:07. Strauss replied that it is not impossible to use a perjurer's testimony, but how often does it work? At 3:30 p.m. on July 2 Maxwell appeared in the U.S. District Court for the District of New Hampshire, before Magistrate Judge Andrea K. Johnston. Inner City Press live tweeted it here. Also live tweeted bail denial of July 14. Here, in the July 3 media coverage of Maxwell, media all of the world used a video and stills from it of Maxwell speaking in front of a blue curtain, like here. What they did not mention is something Inner City Press has been asking the UN about, as under UNSG Antonio Guterres with his own sexual exploitation issues, exclusive video and audio, it got roughed up and banned from the UN. Ghislaine Maxwell had a ghoulish United Nations press conference, under the banner of the Terramar Project, here. On July 5. After some crowdsourcing, Inner City Press reported on another Ghislaine Maxwell use of the United Nations, facilitated by Italy's permanent representative to the UN, UN official Nikhil Seth and Damir Dossal, who also let into the UN and in one case took money from convicted UN briber Eng Lap Seng, and Patrick Ho of SEFC China Energy, also linked to UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres. At the Ghislaine Maxwell UN event, the UN Deputy Secretary-General was directly involved. List of some of the participants on Patreon here. Inner City Press has published a phone of Maxwell in the UN with Dossal here, but the connection runs deeper. Dossal, with 25 years of UN involvement, was on Terra Armor's board of directors, one of only 5 directors, only 3 not related to Maxwell by blood and name. The directors, Ghislaine Maxwell, Christine Molina Maxwell, Stephen Haft, Christine Dennis and Amir Dossal. Inner City Press is publishing this full 990 on Patreon here. Dossal has operated through the UN Office of Partnership, with Antonio Guterres and his deputy Amina J. Mohammed, here, and the links to the world of UN bribery, including Antonio Guterres through the Gulbenkian Foundation, runs deeper. More to follow. Antonio Guterres claims he has zero tolerance for sexual exploitation, but covers it up and even participate in it. He should be forced to resign, and or have immunity waived. Terra Mar has been dissolved, even though Maxwell's former fundraiser, Director of Development Brian Urisic still lists the URL on his protected Twitter profile, also here. But now Inner City Press has begun to inquire into Ghislaine Maxwell's other United Nations connections, starting with this photograph of Another Days, or at least Another Outfits, presentation in the UN, here. While co-conspirator Antonio Guterres has had Inner City Press banned from any entry into the UN for 2 years and a day, this appears to be in the UN Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC, chamber. We'll have more on this, and on Epstein and the UN. Watch this site. The case is US v. Maxwell, 20 CR 330, Nathan. To find out more, please follow the links on screen and in the description. Together, let's make sure justice is served.